It's the 13th of May. It's been about 5 days since the tensions between India and Pakistan really escalated, and about 2 days since the ceasefire was announced. I'm Nidhi, and we're here in Poonch. We're sitting with Jamrod Singh, who actually lost his uncle on the very first day, that's on the May 7th, when shelling hit Poonch city. We were actually just chatting earlier and talking about what it really means for people to live along the border regions, what losing life means here. Can you help us understand what really happened on the 7th of May and what has been going on in your lives since then? All of the country today, in fact, yesterday, after Prime Minister Modi gave a speech, there was an announcement that a victory speech will go around, victory march is going to take place around the country. For a family like yours, which has lost a life, what does this mean? What does this victory even mean?
First of all, I would like to thank you that you have come a long way to cover these episodes on ground. Basically, you can say expecting that there will be mock drills and people should be aware at how these how things can be done in an emergency or in a warlike situations. But I'm very sorry to say that no one was there, no mock drill was there, nothing was told to us, no facility, no first aid, no ambulances, no PCRs, no sirens, nothing was given to us, nothing was told to us. We were left alone to bleed here in Punch. Like, I don't know, is this is the price that we are living on borders, we are paying this to, I don't know. But the thing is that on 7th of May, my uncle, he just came back from Gurdwara. He's a religious person and he used to go Gurdwara every day. As every day he used to go to Gurdwara and come back from there. He just came back from the Gurdwara and just he heard a sound in the neighboring area that there was some shelling going on here in the city. So it was very shocking. And in the history of Punch, whenever a war has taken place, never ever it has been seen that the shelling has done on city. And if you go to the internet and you will search, there is no provision to any country to shell on cities and take innocent lives. But on that very black day, that I can say that black day for us, the shelling has been started in city. And as he came back from Gurdwara, we have a triple story building, and the upper floor was my uncle's floor. Younger uncle's floor, Mr. Amrik Singh, and the lower floor was my elder uncle's floor, Harjit Singh. And they just came back from Gurdwara, and the Amrik Singh and he took his family and take them all to so that they can go down into the basement to be safe and to assure the safety of the family and also himself. He has also one shop of grocery store. So he decided to move along with his family to that basement. And as he moved down there, the basement just closed the shutters and locked down them. And he started to cleaning that basement. As we know that no one cleans the basement every day. So he told his family that we should clear it and beat everything in outside. We will not go move outside or go outside. We'll have everything here only, cook here, even though we have a washroom also there. I don't know what happened. He has in the basement we have just a small window so that we should get any eatables or essentials to eat or to have food to cook. Uh, as we don't know how many days he has to be in that basement, so he was just there to get a broom or to eat to get some essentials for his family. So by the time he was getting the things back to that basement, the shells come and hit the outside and tears the outer shutters of the shop and head into his ribs, and he almost collapsed at that time. And the elder uncle of mine, Mr. Harjit Singh, he was standing outside his room on that balcony, and the shell also hit his hand very badly, very crucially. But in spite of that injured hand, he just moved down as his kids started shouting, Bade Papa, come down. something has happened to our father. He just go down with a bleeding hand and just saw a person lying outside the shop. He was also got hit, and on spot he died. Then he moved inside and opened the shutters of the shop. And after that, when he go inside the shop and seemed to see through that, it was all smoky, and nothing was visible. But still, somehow he managed to get into that window, and he just saw that his brother was lying on the chair, bleeding very badly. This portion of him was critically healed, and there's a big hole that the blood is flowing like water, and everything got shattered for us. And I'm very feeling very painful, and with a heavy heart, I have to say that his seventh standard studying old son Manat and my injured uncle got into that shop and broke that plastic chair to get his father's body out. And I don't know how courageous at that time both of them were, that they should bring that body out, and there was no ambulance. They were shouting, crying, help us, help us. There was no neighbor who came out. Luckily, we have a neighbor. Just after that blast, everyone was scared, and no one knows that he got injured, as he was also inside that shop. So after 5 to 10 minutes, our neighbors came. Then they came up. The automobiles standing outside were totally shattered. You can see. No, they have even tried to start those, but after some time, when they got an vehicle and taken into the district hospital, there he was declared dead.
I want to understand, when we were coming from Delhi and we stayed in Jammu, there were all these sirens going off. People were practicing blackout. Over here, were there sirens? Did you have any idea when two countries are going to war, or at least their tensions are escalating? Did you at the border had any idea that this is going to happen? Were there any precautions, any procedures that were prescribed by the government so that you all can be safe?
I was the only person. Before starting this operation, I was in Jammu. I have seen the situations there also. And after this operation has started and this devastation has started, I had been here in the Punch. I have seen both the areas. If we talk about Jammu, even on the 6th of the May, there was no silence. Nothing was told to us. I live in a city in Jammu also. So there was nothing. Just we were there was a news speculations that there will be going a mock drill. As I have already told you, that mock drills have been performed in Bihar, and also we were expecting that there was some cities where mock drills will take place. Then come to our cities, and our administration will tell us to do accordingly, and that all that stuff. But on that next morning, on the 7th of May, I got a call from my father, who lives in my place only. He was with me only. So that there was shelling going on in Punch, and from 3 o'clock they are expecting shelling on borders. But now I have just got news that something big happened in city. You're faking this. You're making me fool. He said, no, this is the truth. The shell has been in the city. By the time I was calling, it's 7:30. No one was picking calls here. And after a few minutes, I got the news that your uncle has met and he's no more.
What do you feel about this idea that today India has won, when Modi announced that there will be a victory march? What does it mean to you all living at the border here? What does all of that mean?
I would also be one of them who are happy that India had won this operation if my uncle was alive. We are also Indians. We live in this nation. We eat from this nation. So how can we be? Do you think we are enemies of this nation? If my family has served this nation, and we are still
You were saying your whole generations have served in
generation
the
that
army.
serve this nation. Bilkul, bilkul. No, true. It's true that our generation, and we also want this nation to be peaceful, be progressful, so that our nation should be the सारे जहाँ से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा. We also sing this song. We also says Jan Gan Man. So we are not enemies of this nation. We just want peace. And I don't know why administration has failed brutally in this case, that they were unable to show us this seriousness of this operation or the seriousness of this war which is going to take place. I was the only one in my vehicle on the 7th of the day when I got this news. I can say was it 200 or 300 private vehicles were moving towards away from Jammu, away from Punch towards Jammu, and I was the only one who was in pain and going towards that danger, Punch here, because I lost my one family member.
Has the administration ever since then, at least since the loss has happened, has anyone visited? Has anyone talked about compensation, about job, about any sort of help or support that the administration can give your family at this point?
If you talk about that loss is unbearable. No one can fulfill that loss which the kids have facing, which the mother of the kids is facing. People have come, but after 3 years, 3 days, when this ceasefire is announced, and the next day of the ceasefire, not even that day on the ceasefire came, since it was announced in the evening, the next day of the ceasefire, then local community people started visiting to us and mourning here. But after that, some political leaders, media, as you can see, you have already seen so many interviews I've done. They started coming here, and our honorable chief minister has also been here, and various other ministers was also here. But if you talk about compensation, officially, since now, nothing has been announced, nothing has been paid to us, and nobody has assured us for the job. We have proposed these things that government should take appropriate measures and provide some financial help to the family, and at least job of 2 persons which are eligible for the jobs. Maybe that job will be a lower class job, but they also have the right to live in this country. If they have lost their father, lost their husband for this country, because of this country, because of the shelling, because of the Operation Sindoor, I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just connecting the chains. The order starts from the higher authorities and finish to this kid who has lost his father. So I just want कि if they think betterment, they should at least compensate this family 2 to 5%, so that they should live their life and a future, and they should think of being a citizen of this country, and they should also be motivated in future that we are also Indians. No matter we have lost our father, we're Indians. We're proud Indians.
Last question, I just want to ask you, the media sitting in Delhi in the studios, or the media even visiting here, there's been a lot of warmongering and baying for blood and all of that happening online, whether it's on social media or on TV. I want to understand from you, where your family lives in the border, what does this idea of warmongering, or what is this conversation happening on TV has felt like for you?
See, ma'am, if you talk about warmongering and all that stuff, I don't think it is sensible. As I have already spoken to many media persons, that if you people of India outside J&K, outside Punch, are thinking that war is so easy, it is a cup of tea, and we should do it every day, every night, every Saturday. Some people are saying that we should continue this war. You should continue this war. We are with you. But at least save our people first. Even a cricketer, when it goes for playing in the stadium, he wears his pads, he wears his guards, he wears his helmet. Why, if that for a game you are so much serious, you are spending 100 of crores, why not for you people? Why not that basic amenities should be there? 3 days they were blackout on this in this city, in this Poonch district. There was no water, no electricity, no food, and no one was even bothered. No administration was even bothered to go to the people. By the time shelling has stopped, we have a
You're saying there was no medical team ready, no ambulance.
nothing. You will not believe, ma'am. It was so devastating that the bodies of Mr. Amrik Singh and that guy outside, I don't know his name. His name, I guess, Ranjit Singh or something like that, because I'm not from here. but we have a single ambulance and we have placed a body up and a body down in that single ambulance. They were even not even a ambulance, and even that ambulance which has came here, we have pleased people to send us an ambulance at least. Then the ambulance has arrived here. And the very next day, when we have gathered there to, you can say, for Antim Kriyakaram and Asthis and all, we were shocked when we moved there. We have changed the timings 3 times, thrice. Is bombing is going to happen or not? And then screamingly, scarily, everyone, 2 or 4 people have gone there and do that, all that stuff, and Richard has came back runningly. We don't know that from where the shell is going to be on us. So this was the condition. Very badly, we have, when I have reached here on 7th, we have, for us, the World War has already taken place. And I request everyone, I request our Honorable Prime Minister and our higher authority people, defense people, you do whatever you want to do, but safeguard your motherland and your people first, then go for whatever you want. If we are in this Indian army and serve this nation, obviously we are with you only. But at least if we are with you, we sacrificing our lives for you, you should at least think for the people who are on border. That's it, ma'am.
Thank you, Jamroti. We are right now in Poonch. As you can see, this entire locality is almost vacant. People are slowly trickling back because people have been scared, have not been able to trust the ceasefire. We're going to be here and speak to different people. I'm very sorry for your loss, and we will be continuing our coverage. This is Nidhi Suresh. Thank you.